What is up, y'all? So yesterday really wasn't what I think is the best day of fishing. So I'll come out again today. It's supposed to be kind of rainy and gross all day today, so we'll see how that is. Yeah, the main thing about today's video is I want to show how I use deep dive to break down a lake, kind of the step by step. I know I spend a lot of time talking about the features and what it does, but I kind of wanted to go from start to finish and show you how I use it. So yeah, it's gonna be a little gross today. It's okay. Without the wind, I might just try throwing around a stick bait here. Might even try, oh wow, yeah, it's pretty shallow. With shallow grass, you can see it all the way out here, which is kind of cool. You know what? We're still pretty deep here. So with deep dive, before I even get out on the water, I'm already setting myself up. So I'm going through the app, looking at, I'm adding in the conditions, vegetation inflows, clarity, rock piles, docks, jetties. I'm adding all that in here to give, the app the best representation of what's actually happening on this water. Also putting in the conditions, it's going to be, it should be a little bit of the post-spawn spawn, but with the temperature, it's, they're not going to really do anything now. They may just be kind of in a holding pattern. But yeah, so I'll start my day off looking and setting myself up in the deep dive app. And you can already tell here, it's just telling me what to throw, some creature bait, some jigs, some top water, chatterbait. I'm going to be going with the chatterbait mostly just because it is my confidence bait. With any water, I will throw a chatterbait. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to do exactly what it's going to be saying, and it's saying to, fish vegetation. I'm going to look for vegetation. I'm going to look for weed lines, and that's what I'm going to use, and that's what I'm going to fish. Yeah, based off of what deep dive has to say. So let's see if we can get on them. With this cold front that they just had, and the rain, I don't think it is gonna cause them to go off the bank or go off from the super shallow and find a little bit of deeper water, but they're not gonna go all the way back out to their winter spots. They're just gonna move off a little bit. So they're gonna find the nearest structure, whether that's underground brush piles, rocks, weeds, anything that's gonna hold a little bit more heat than the open water that they'll have when they're on the beds. So that's why I'm not really going that far away, and I'm still pretty much keeping within that 10 to 20 feet from the bank, which we'll try that pattern out for a little bit.
Get out of the weeds. Nice. Nice. Right on the roof of the mouth too. Coming out of the weeds. Yeah, you can tell the bed and the fins are starting to be beat up. Thanks, bud. Ugh. Wow, that was a big one. I caught that one like really far off the grass. Well, far off the bank. I don't know if you can tell or not, but that was about, I'd say like a good. So I caught that one a little farther off on a chatterbait. So I'm gonna keep doing that. There's another one. Yes. Is that a small jaw? No, I think it's still a largie, but it's got the colorings of a, well, nah, it's a largemouth. Thanks, bud. I was looking at. Thanks, bud.
I know, you know, bass are still a good sport fish up here north. But up here, when you get up in the north, when I say north, you know, it's like Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, a little bit of Illinois. A lot of the focus goes away from your largemouth, starts going towards the toothy critters. So your muskie, pike, walleye, those are gonna be the fish that a lot more people are talking about up here north and trying to catch. Plus walleye is fucking delicious. So is pike. Pike's pretty good too. Almost kind of tastes like perch. Smallmouth too. Smallmouth becomes pretty big, especially in Wisconsin when you get up like Door County, and up in those bays like Manitowoc, and a lot of walleye, a lot of smallmouth up there. Largemouth, they're still there, but they're not as big and not as sought after.
Nice little pike. Smells. Thanks, bud. Oh, there's one. Oh, yeah, it's a good pike. That's a good. Oh, it's a bass. Good bass. Nice, nice. I know that dog too. Nice. A little salad with it, but it's a nice little bass, man. Nice, bud. Thanks, bud.
That's the only thing bad thing about having pike in here is it's hard to tell if you have a pike or a bass. I mean, you can tell pretty quickly if it bites you off. I mean, pike, if they break you off, you'll just reel. You feel a slight tug and then nothing on your line. They just completely just bit you off. That's happened to me already.
Oh my God, that's a huge fucking pike. Ooh, that's a huge pike. It's a huge pike. What? I'm gonna net you. Pike. Ooh. Big pike. Oh man, it's a good pike. Not bad. Thanks, bud.
So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and finish out this bank, but I think they're gonna be on the east side of the bank because that's where all the grass is. And it looks like they're kind of like cruising the grass line during this little cold snap. Oh, there's some grass. There's some probably pike in here. Nice. Thanks, bud. Should go back down in there. Nice. Thanks, bud. right in the base of this creek mouth right here. It's pretty shallow. You can almost see the bottom. If it was a little bit clearer, you would be. There's a bed down there. So yeah, I think if it was nicer out, this would probably be a pretty good spot just to sight fish. But there's one. Okay, so it's not that. Thanks, bud. So I'm still just going up these banks. Staying a little shallow just because I like pike. Pike are fun to catch. And the pike are probably going to be a little shallow-ish. Right along a weed line. And they'll just cruise the outside weed line for fish that are coming out to feed. But it is like 10 here, so the bite could have slowed down. I'll probably pick back up in the afternoon, but we'll be going to the Twins Guardians game, so that'll be fun. So I know there's grass over there. Now, like I said, I'm still going to continue. I'm on the inside of the grass line that I was fishing before. Grass line is right to my right, or right to my left, I mean. I'm going to fish the inside of it first, as I'm going to make my way down here, and then it gets kind of shallow up in there, so I'll go on the outside of it. Maybe they'll be on the other side. You know, it's cold when you see your breath at the end of May. Well, I know they were here yesterday, and so like I said, I don't think they're gonna like go too far off where their beds are at. So they're just gonna go and look for the nearest structure, whether that's laydowns, rocks, ledges. There's a little bit of a ledge here. I mean, there was. Oop, there's one. That's a good one. That's, I don't know what that is. It's a pike. That's a pike. Oh, no, it's a bass. That's a good bass. That's a good bass. That's a good bass. Oh my gosh, that's a good bass. Oh. Oh. There we go. Dang. Nice. It's a good bass though. It's fat. Thanks, bud. Yep. Like I said, right off the cover. Looks like she was right off of that. Right off that stump. But yeah, she hit like a ton of bricks. So I'm just kind of just doing like the shallow grasp on the bank, just like Deep Dive said, and that's where I've been catching all of my fish. So, you know, I tried a little bit of the other side, trying to go off offshore a little bit, tried wacky, which usually can get a bite, but no, they would rather have something moving, I'm guessing. So like I said, this chatterbait that I'm using is perfect. And I like the color. I think the color is pretty good too. Red right now could be the ticket. Well, I think that's gonna do it for me. I want to get in, be able to put away and then take a shower and get ready for the baseball game and date with my wife. So I want to get off the water now, but huge shout out to Deep Dive for sponsoring this video. I love using Deep Dive anytime I'm coming out to a new lake, or really anytime I'm trying to go out and fish and just to get some bites. Deep Dive gives me the confidence to come out and throw, you know, either my confidence bait or just lures that I haven't thrown in a while. You know, it's a great way to kind of like start experiencing and getting experience and knowledge and throwing different baits. So, you know, maybe it's telling you to throw a spook and you're not really confident with a spook, or even a jig or a creature bait. The great thing about the Deep Dive app is going to show you exactly where to throw that lure and how to retrieve it, and even colors. So it's even going to show you like colors based on the conditions. And again, use that with a grain of salt. I think today it's telling me to use red. I started off with white, caught a few on white. That's just a confidence bait just to see where they're at, but switched to red and had a pretty good time. Like I said, you know, we are in that spawn, post-spawn here in the north. So, you know, they're not going to go way far off from where they're at. I mean, I know it's cold. It was about a 20 degree drop in temperature over the last couple of days. It's been raining, so the air temperature is below 50 right now. So it's pretty cold out here. But yeah, just because it's cold during the spawn, they're not going to go back to the winter haunts. They're going to stay pretty close. They're going to look for cover. They're going to look for laydowns, rocks, humps, ledges, cliff walls, things like that. That's going to hold the heat, give them a little protection from the wind and the rain that we're having. So appreciate y'all watching. As always, get out there and fish and tight lines, y'all.